I am so scared of being heard by the people in the house, so I'm gonna keep my voice down low if you don't mind. I hope you can hear me. I thought I'd have a quick chat with you guys about my past relationship with food and how I used to eat, how I used to look at food, what I used food for. I thought we should talk about that because I think it's really important. And I'm doing this unscripted. I didn't write down what I was going to say because I feel like it might be better to just have a sit down and just talk and be honest and share exactly what I think. So, food, guys, my relationship with food has never been great. It's been okay. There's been good parts to my diet and there's been rough parts. And I'd say the rough parts are always the parts that I would fall back on, I would go back to after dieting or after restricting a certain food group. I mean, I can probably safely say that I've been on every single food group restrictive diet that exists. I started out vegetarian, I remember this very distinctly. I decided it would be healthier for me, better for my health and my future and the environment, and for ethical reasons I went vegan for a while. I think I was vegetarian for about 5 to 6 years and vegan for about 3. It wasn't very long that I was vegan, but I went in full force. I did high carb. I tried to do it low fat. I struggle with that, however, so I never really lost much weight on the vegan diet because I couldn't eat like that while having a busy life and be strict with myself. It was very difficult. I don't know how the vegans find it easy. It didn't work for me. I don't know why. Um, After that, I went back to normal eating. I did a few months of just eating everything, eating badly, gaining a few pounds, a few kilograms. I never gained a lot of weight ever. The most I've weighed, I have shared in one of my previous videos, the most I've weighed is 65 kilograms. At the moment, I'm around 60.5 kilograms. So I've always been pretty stable with my weight. I've never picked up a lot and lost a lot. It's always very, like, it's little bits, gaining little bits, losing little bits. And I think that's healthy. But now, the thing was, I never really stuck with anything because it would work, but it would be unsustainable, and I would drop it and I would go back to my crazy eating habits. And this brings me to my next part, what my crazy eating habits were. I mean, snacks, sweets, sweet foods, and snacks were my downfall. I would eat snacks and I'm talking crisps, I'm talking, you know, anything processed, anything. It can even be something healthy, but it's processed and it's not food. It's not something you've cooked or something that comes from a raw form. It's just like straight from the packet. That would be a meal for me. And it's so unhealthy the way I ate. I mean, there was a few weeks in March and April and maybe even a bit of May that I just like breakfast would be biscuits and I don't know, maybe I'll have a good day and I'll have some oatmeal, but breakfast I was the best with, but lunch would be something not good, processed foods. Dinner, same thing. I mean, and the snacking was out of control. I would eat biscuits, I would eat chips, I would eat anything that's packaged, chocolates, anything, and I would eat it, all of it. Like it wasn't just portion sizes, it was everything. And I guess you could call it binge eating to an extent, but it was never that bad. I know there were times where I would eat myself until I would eat until I'm stuffed. but it was never binge eating, in my opinion, because I wouldn't be hungry after. I would be really stuffed and I wouldn't eat for hours afterwards. So it was like I was abusing my hunger, and I was abusing the needs of my body by eating all these bad foods instead of what I actually needed. And I actually think the vegan lifestyle that I followed wasn't really helping, because I would also have those meals where I just had potato chips for dinner with nothing with it. I know the vegans say eat potato chips with lettuce or something like that. I would just eat it straight up. I would sometimes have it with some mayonnaise or like a little, like a fries dressing type thing. I would dip my chips in, and that would be what I eat for dinner, which it's not it's not balanced enough. I mean, I'd still do that sometimes now, but it would be like once a month or once every 2 months. It's very rare now. Now I actually eat balanced foods balanced meals for a change. And yeah, it's crazy how some diets like those high carb low fat vegan diets where they only eat fruit and vegetables and grains. Some of them are only eating fruit the whole day. How that's okay, it's something that, I mean, I saw that as okay for a very long time, and that's probably because I was just listening to YouTube influencers, and that wasn't maybe the best idea. But people get desperate. You get desperate to lose weight, you get desperate to become healthier. And you know I went vegan because I was getting sick quite a lot, and not just colds and flus. I'm talking like I would get hectic migraines and headaches, and I'll have horrible symptoms with that as well, and it wasn't good. Something was wrong. I mean, maybe I was dehydrated, maybe I was just eating too much processed food as well, and that's the thing that came back with eating normal foods again, was I could just eat everything again, but in a very unhealthy way. One food group or one food type for an entire meal, because I can't stop myself, which is insane. So I think that's something that's really helped me. Um, I mean that's why I think calorie counting has really helped me, because I'm actually looking at what I'm eating. I'm looking at Chronometer and I'm seeing, okay, my breakfast was very fatty, so obviously I'm not going to have as much fat for the rest of the day. I'm going to try and focus more on proteins and carbohydrates. I'm actually reflecting on what I'm eating for change. And it's something I used to try and do in the past, but it's just no one has time to track every single calorie they eat every day. I mean, I had a job where I was very busy and I was very drained at the end of each day, and I know what that feels like. And there was a reason why I didn't calorie count then, because you only have so much energy in a day. And on weekends you just like you're out, you're sleeping, you just you're just doing everything to keep yourself sane for the next week. And I finally have time now where I'm not working at the moment. I finally have time to just look after myself and actually look at what I'm consuming, and look at why I'm feeling certain ways, maybe, because of what I'm consuming. So, and I'm not cutting anything out for a change. I think that's also one of the things we need to start realizing, that cutting out anything doesn't work, because you're going to want that thing so much more. Like, I'm not restricting myself from anything unless I'm over my calorie budget for the day. And then, even then, I mean, if really I want to go and eat more than usual, more than my calorie budget, I do it, because it happens so rarely that I actually want to eat more, which is interesting. So I made myself some tea real quick, because some people were leaving the house and I just wanted to greet them and say goodbye, and now I'm alone, so I can talk how loud ever I want, however loud I want. And that feels amazing, because I don't know if some of you guys make YouTube videos where you speak in your videos, but I hate talking to myself into a camera lens and have people that might hear me close by. I mean, public vlogging is just like a next level. That's crazy to me. I don't understand that. I don't see myself ever doing that. I might publicly vlog when there's no one around me, but not when people are around me. Like in a store, a grocery store, that's never gonna happen. I'll never talk in a video in a place like that. So let's continue with the conversation. I was just thinking about the thing that I said about veganism and the high carb low fat movement and everything. And I just want to say, I think if you follow the high carb low fat movement or the protocol and you do it well and you follow the guidelines and everything, I think you can lose a lot of weight and I think you can get really healthy. I'm not saying that it's impossible. It's just I feel like it's something that I could just never get quite right. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm not always in control of my own cooking or my own food. I mean, when I did this, I didn't live with my parents. I lived with my husband. So I could technically control what I was eating. But now the problem was he wasn't eating high carb, low fat vegan. Like, how many couples do you know that eats exactly the same diet every day? It's very rare. And I think if you have something like that, do it and keep going with it. That's great. It's just, it's not for me. It doesn't work. I mean, I'd rather just eat what my husband eats or something similar to that, and it just makes life so much easier. And all I need to do is limit my intake. It's not like I need to cut out sugar or cut out dairy or I need to cut out meat. I just limit my intake. I make sure I don't eat more than my husband does, or I make sure I don't completely skip a meal for no reason, unless it's for fasting reasons. I eat a balanced meal, but I restrict the calories because I'm trying to lose weight at the moment. And when I get to a place where I'm happy with my weight, I'm going to stop restricting as severely, and I'm going to go to a maintain my weight calorie budget, and that's how I'm going to eat. And I have no idea how I got to this point in this conversation. I was talking about my relationship with food, and yes, I think we're overthinking things. I think this whole movement with fasting and intermittent fasting and all the fasting movements, basically, I think that's really something to look into because no one really makes money off of that. It's not something that's benefiting anyone except yourself. And I mean the same with calorie counting. You can make the argument that calorie counting apps make money off you, I guess, if you choose to do the premium memberships or something, but that's about it. Calorie restriction doesn't benefit anybody but you and anyone who cares about you if you're doing it in a healthy way. So it's all very interesting to talk and think about. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. But I think diet and eating is overcomplicated for the most part. Unless you have allergies and sensitivities and any food aversions, that's a different ball game. I'm lucky I don't have anything like that. I can eat most foods comfortably. I'm fine. I eat what I like. I eat what I enjoy eating. And I just keep it to a reasonable amount. And to me, calorie counting and tracking my calories in an app is what is helping me at the moment understand what portion size is, understand what it is to just not overeat for change, to just eat enough for my body and not too much for my body. Because I even had a ketogenic phase where I was eating keto, and that had its own benefits. It was amazing, the weight loss. It was incredible. I actually did weightlifting with the keto, while eating the keto diet. It went well. It did. It was fast. Tracking my ketones was very interesting. I love doing that. it's just there were some things that I couldn't get over. Like, I had a few side effects that I'm not going to discuss now, but something was missing from that diet clearly, and it just didn't work for me either. I remember when I was eating ketogenic foods, the bulk of my diet wasn't even meat, which you would think it would be. It was fat, and that's fine, but my point is it was mostly dairy. Because I remember I was tracking on MyFitnessPal, and I found that cheese and double cream yogurt and cream cheeses and things like that it was like a safe food for me, and I started eating it in to larger quantities. I remember eating a lot of cheese, and I just don't think that was good. I'm not dairy intolerant or anything. I just don't think it was a good idea, and I had some health problems coming with the ketogenic diet, so I just decided when I saw my results and I decided it wasn't worth it, then I went back to my balanced eating, or rather actually the balanced eating, but in a bad way, like, what I spoke about earlier. I feel like the video has reached its natural end, so I'm going to sign off here with a bit of a request, or maybe just something that I'd like you guys to think about if you're open to it. Just think about how you're eating and decide whether that's in favor of yourself and your mind and your mental health and the health of your body. I mean, your mental relationship with food first. Because you can't just force yourself to eat things all the time. I mean, if you feel like you want to get healthier and you think the healthiest way to get, or the best way to get healthier is to eat more salads, if you're going to tell that to me, guys, I don't like salads. It's rather worth checking in with yourself, what keeps you sane and what keeps you on track the longest, meaning what is sustainable to you. Now, I'm going to enjoy my vanilla chai tea now, and I'd like to just give another thanks for watching if you made it this far. Poor thing. Bye.